Alrighty. Okay, can everyone hear me? Fine?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, so we don't have mics, so I'm just gonna be projecting. So if all panelists also could project when they're speaking, that would be great. Much appreciated. So good afternoon, everyone. My name is Kyung Choi, and I am the Communications Coordinator of the International Association of Youth and Students for Peace, otherwise known as IAYSP. I want to thank you all for joining us for this important discussion on empowering girls through leadership, training, and travel. This side event, from Margins to Changemakers, is hosted by IAYSP and Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal, along with the Permanent Mission of Mexico to the UN Major Group for Children and Youth, and H-Day International Graduate School for Peace and Public Leadership, who is providing this space for us today. A little bit about us, for those that don't know, IAYSP works globally to empower young people through education, service, and leadership programs. With chapters in more than 50 countries, IAYSP engages youth in community-driven initiatives that align with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. As an NGO with consultative status with ECOSOC, we actively participate in global discussions and policy efforts to ensure young people have a seat at the table in shaping sustainable and inclusive development. Recently, we partnered with Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal, a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing safe opportunities for women to travel and engage in community work, which we seek to highlight shortly. This side event is held in alignment with the theme of the 2025 ECOSOC Partnership Forum, Advancing Sustainable, Inclusive Science and Evidence-Based Solutions for the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development and its Sustainable Development Goals for Leaving No One Behind. At the heart of this theme is the recognition that sustainable progress towards the SDGs must be inclusive, locally driven, and built on solutions that are not only innovative, but also backed by evidence. It acknowledges that traditional top-down approaches alone are not enough. To truly leave no one behind, we must create pathways for grassroots leadership, particularly for those who are too often marginalized, women and girls, youth, and communities in underserved regions. This is why today's discussion is so critical. By highlighting real-life examples of grassroots leadership and showcasing how inclusive partnerships amplify impact, we aim to provide a model for how multi-stakeholder collaboration can be leveraged to empower young women and girls globally. The stories and insights shared today will shed light on how we can scale community-led solutions into global change. With that, I am honored to welcome our esteemed speakers, invite them to share their insights on how grassroots leaderships and empowerment programs are shaping the next generation of change makers. I would like to introduce my colleague and good friend, John Costa, the UN Advocacy Advisor for IAYSP, who will serve as our moderator for our panel. John, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Kayan. Our panel today brings together representatives from IAYSP and GET-Nepal, two organizations dedicated to empowering youth through grassroots education and leadership development. First off, we have Nagma Shrestha. She's the IAYSP representative to the United Nations, New York, and a passionate advocate in youth and peace-building initiatives. As a former Miss Nepal, she has proudly represented Nepal on global stages, competing in multiple prestigious beauty pageants and making history as Nepal's first ever representative at Miss Universe in 2017. Beyond her achievements in pageantry, she served as the National Director of Miss Universe Nepal from 2020 to 2023, where she spearheaded groundbreaking inclusivity initiatives and redefined the pageant landscape in Nepal. Nagma, off to you.
Thank you so much, John, for that kind introduction. First of all, good afternoon and namaste to everyone. Namaste is our traditional greeting from Nepal. It's always a pleasure to share a space or to be amongst such powerful people in the room. So thank you so much to everyone for making it today. Ambassador Chambala is here as well. I'm seeing you. Thank you so much for your presence. He's the former ambassador from Zambia. Thank you, Ambassador Chambala. Let's imagine a world where every young person, regardless of their background, has the opportunity to create real impact, where their ideas aren't just heard, but acted upon. Throughout my journey from representing Nepal on various global stages to working in media and youth advocacy, I have witnessed one undeniable truth. Young people have incredible potential, but access to education, mentorship, and resources often determines whether that potential is realized. Although the Sustainable Development Goals were introduced back in 2015, I have personally felt the gap in SDG awareness in my country, Nepal. I've often received questions on my social media asking, what does SDG mean? A study by Nepal's Planning Commission found that less than 20% of youth in rural areas can correctly define what SDGs are and how they can impact their future. Even in urban areas where access to education and technology is higher, awareness remains fragmented. A 2023 UNDP survey reveals that only 35% of youth in Kathmandu could accurately describe SDG targets, and an even smaller percentage could link them to national policies or personal actions. This highlights an urgent need for SDG education, particularly among youth, to ensure meaningful engagement and action towards Nepal's development goals. This is where the Peace Designer program becomes essential. It transforms awareness into action, bridging global knowledge with local impact. One of IAYSP's flagship initiatives is the Peace Designer Training, a program that teaches young people to develop peace projects using SDG education, community engagement, and design thinking. This program has been active in dozens of countries over the last 7 years. Most recently in the Balkans, IAYSP has trained over 169 youth through structured Peace Designer training, and the results speak for themselves. A youth-led initiative in Kosovo is now supporting young women pursuing careers in law enforcement, increasing female representation in security forces. Universities such as the University of Business and Technology in Kosovo and the University of Tetovo in North Macedonia have hosted peace designer trainings, with their results being reported to the ministries of education, potentially shaping policy changes. Over the past 2 years, YSP Balkan has implemented 4 peace projects tackling environmental and educational issues, with 4 more in progress set for completion by April 2025. The success of peace designer training in the Balkans demonstrated how structured mentorship and SDG-focused education empower youth to drive real change. Inspired by this, we brought this proven model to Nepal, ensuring that our local communities benefit from the same global best practices. This is how we build global connections for local impact, by taking successful frameworks and adapting them to address Nepal's specific needs. Our journey to bring the Peace Designer Seminar to Nepal began with a meaningful partnership between YSP USA and Girls Empowered by Travel GET-Nepal. When I first learned about GET-Nepal, I found their mission incredibly unique. They provide safe opportunities for women to travel and engage in community work, fostering leadership among women and youth. This deeply resonated with me because travel has been one of the most enriching experiences of my own personal life. It has shaped my perspective, friendships, and also global connections. The Hitaishi meaning in Sanskrit is a Sanskrit-derived Nepali and a Hindi word that means well-wisher, friend, or someone who desires the well-being of others. So this is a Hitaishi project under GET-Nepal. So the Hitaishi project by GET-Nepal is an annual rural-urban intercultural exchange initiative aimed at empowering young women through cultural exchange, travel experience, skill sharing, leadership training, and partnerships. This aligns seamlessly with IAYSP's Peace Designer Seminar, which equips youth with leadership skills and SDG education. On December 24, 2024, I had the privilege of conducting the Peace Designer Seminar in Kathmandu in collaboration with GET-Nepal. The moment I arrived, I was greeted by GET-Nepal team and 5 remarkable students or Hitayishis from Sankhwa Sabha. Sankhwa Sabha is a rural part of Nepal in the eastern side of Nepal. They had traveled 18 hours by bus to participate in this program, a testament to their dedication and hunger for education. They welcomed me with traditional khadas and GET-Nepal goodies, creating a warm and inspiring atmosphere for the session. I would just like to acknowledge the participants by saying their names. 5 Hitayishis from Sankhwa Sabha were Furlamu Sherpa, Babina Rai, Sara Tamang, Kamala Maya Tamang, Ming Furi Sherpa. They were ages 18 to 20. Their enthusiasm and engagement throughout the seminar reaffirmed why such initiatives are critical for youth empowerment. Our Peace Designer Seminar was structured into 3 key parts, all of which directly contributed to SDG 4, Quality Education, SDG 16, Peace, Justice, and Strong Institution, and SDG 17, Global Partnerships for Sustainable Development. In the first part, we explored the 3 levels of peace: inner peace, peace with others, peace with the environment. Each discussion was linked to the SDGs, ensuring that participants understood how global goals connect to local issues. Second part was photography exploration. Each participant was given a disposable camera to capture images of peace, culture, and community in UNESCO World Heritage Site, Kathmandu Darbar Square. This creative exercise helped them visualize social issues and reflect on solutions. You can also see some pictures by the students displayed in the exhibit over there. And the third part was the community project development. We guided students to identify local problems such as waste management and access to education and develop actionable solutions. This hands-on approach transformed theoretical knowledge into practical impact. By the end of the session, my heart was full. These 5 young women had not only observed knowledge, but were already thinking about how they could apply it to their own communities. I wish them all the best in their education and future endeavors, and I'm so grateful to GET-Nepal for this meaningful partnership. I'm sure we'll hear more about GET-Nepal from Lena, but I just want to take a moment to say it's such a pleasure to share this space with you, Lena, and thank you so much for your contributions for Nepal. IAYSP and its partners remain committed to expanding peace designer training globally, ensuring that every young person, regardless of their geography, gender, or background, has the opportunity to contribute meaningfully to their community and the world. Through my work, I've seen that when young people are given the right resources, they rise to the occasion. But we cannot expect them to do it alone. We must expand youth-led programs like the Peace Designer Seminar, engage governments and institutions to integrate youth perspectives in decision-making, ensure that education goes beyond literacy and equips the youth with real-world problem-solving skills. The youth of Nepal and the world are ready. The question is, are we ready to invest in them? Let us work together to build a more just, inclusive, and peaceful world. One youth, one opportunity, and one project at a time. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that, Nagma. Next, we have Elena Zubareva. She's the co-founder of Girls Empowered by Travel, or GET. This is a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing safe opportunities for women to travel and engage in community work. By fostering leadership among women and youth, GET aims to create a ripple effect that positively impacts their families and communities. Elena, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Just first, I want to give a credit to Ketlil Jagran, who created this beautiful presentation. She's our board member in Portland. So as said above, my name is Lena Zubareva. I'm the co-founder of Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal. It's an organization I want to stress we're a grassroots organization, as grassroots as it gets. So we actually work in the field with all those girls that everybody keeps talking about, from rural areas far away, 18-hour bus ride areas. Today, I'm joined by another board member from actually Nepal. I'm going to introduce her a little bit later. She's going to chime in, so it's going to be a presentation done by two of us in New York, Nepal bridge. Today, I'm going to speak about the role of travel in women's empowerment. I believe it's a very innovative idea and a tool that we created. And today I'm going to try to talk about what is it to empower by travel? What can it actually look like in the field? Because it sounds great, I'm sure, but what does it actually look like? I'm sure, just to make case for travel, I'm sure all of you have traveled to some extent, and all of you know how fun, how transformative at the same time, and educational this can be. And I said fun first for a reason, because, and I did not come up with this, at least like some youth work politicians say, at least in Europe, that if you work with youth, you must and you should include an element of fun and recreation in your work. And that's what we're doing here. And I'm sure also all of you have heard this famous quote by Mark Twain that travel is fatal, can be fatal to bigotry and prejudice and closed-mindedness, and that you can absolutely not have a broad and wholesome picture of the world if you sit and observe the world from a small corner of the earth. So with that in mind, and based on our personal experiences, we created Girls Empowered by Travel. Maybe you can put. Who we are and what we do is exactly in our name. So basically we strive to empower women and girls through travel. We see travel as a meaningful tool. So we try to create meaningful opportunities for women and engage them in travel and community work. And especially we try to engage girls who otherwise would not be exposed to such opportunities. And here I'm talking about girls from marginalized communities, from far away, remote areas. Like Nagma mentioned, sometimes it takes 18 hours by bus. I would imagine, a different means of transportation to get somewhere. So we try to engage girls from those communities, give them opportunity, and promote leadership among them. And trust me, we have observed it day in, day out, project after project, that travel and such leadership initiatives really help girls to grow confidence, help them grow independent, and they become leaders in their personal lives and in their families, in their communities, and sky's the limit. So as an initiative, we started in 2016, and 2017, I still cannot believe it, years after that we registered in Nepal. Last year, we also registered in the US. Mostly, we operate as a fundraising branch. So you might be questioning, I don't have enough time to speak about how we started, but I know you might be questioning why this girl is talking about Nepal, So I'm, and with this accent, so I'm originally from Russia. I live in New York, and I'm just a huge fan of Nepal. I don't know how to put it. It doesn't have to be anything else rather than that. I'm a huge fan of travel, huge fan of the outdoors, and I loved the country. And I went there 10 years ago for the first time, and I keep going. And here we are, running Girls Empowered by Travel Nepal. Our story, I think, shares this message. The change and transformation, they're not always linear. And if you have an idea, doesn't matter where you're from, and if you have an idea and you can find a team, however unconventional and not straightforward it is, go for it. Find a team and take it from there. So we do a lot of different things, but these are our flagship projects, our main programs. So I'll tell very briefly about them, and then I'll focus on Hitaishi. So outdoors, this is the leadership in the outdoors. So basically, we create opportunities again and train girls to do different outdoor activities hiking, camping, rock climbing, map reading, navigation. So wilderness training. It's called actually Outdoors, Live Your Own Adventure. You know, a girl who can set up a tent and survive in the wilderness is set up for great future, you know. And we encourage girls after they participated in such events, we encourage them to take lead and be the next ones who organize such adventures. Next one, I'm going to go to sustainable STI, Sustainable Tourism Initiative. That's the socio-economic component of our programs. So sustainable tourism is a vast area, and we can only focus, of course, on a few aspects of it, such as like environmental conservation, you know, don't trash our nature, environmental conservation, cultural preservation, community development. Here under the tourism umbrella, I want to mention that tourism and travel play a crucial role in Nepal's economy, and women don't take enough executive and guiding roles, so we try to work in that field as well. Examples of projects under this umbrella are the professional development for female guides, and then, for example, in a remote village of Nepal, actually my friend Igor was there. He's also on board of GET-USA. Wants to introduce. Thank you for coming. We helped villagers open 6 cultural homestays, so that they can welcome mostly hikers who hike in the mountains next to Tibet, in the Himalayas, who can come, stay with them in their houses, eat with them, and they can share their culture. And of course, hikers who stay with them pay. So this is the economic empowerment as well. So we helped open those cultural homestays, gave homestay training, management training, and probably, if I may say so, Hitaishi is one of the most beautiful projects, and this is really our innovation, I would say. So the full name is the Rural Urban Intercultural Exchange Program. After the next slide, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Hitaishi. But so when preparing for this presentation, we were told, Lena, we need numbers. And it's so hard. Of course, everybody needs numbers. It's so hard to measure impact in the field. Because let's say, all right, these are here 4, but in fact, it's 5 of them. 5 Hitaishis who came from the village to Kathmandu. But each Hitaishi, there is, you know, okay, maybe it's 1 girl, but we cannot say 1 youth, because behind 1 girl, there is her. First of all, we have to work with her uncles, fathers, brothers, school, family, the whole village. We have to explain who we are, why she needs to come with us. So it's really hard to give a number, but you know, we try to calculate. These are the direct beneficiaries, the youth that were impacted. In 2023, we estimate that we engaged 4,000 youth, and last year 6,000. Next. So Hitaishi. You can see pictures. This is what it looks like in the field. Rural Urban Intercultural Exchange Program. So what is it in the nutshell? So we select girls alternatively, either from rural areas to come for such an exchange to urban setting, and vice versa. Urban girls to rural settings. And we create meaningful travel exchange, opportunity. And along with that, we involve them in local communities live. We show them, so this is really highly curated. And along with that, they go through this like 7 to 8 day leadership training, which involves, based on their needs, involves really hardcore, intense training on a project management, design thinking, SDGs. That's what Nadma was talking about. She participated in that part of curriculum in Nepal. Sexual and reproductive health, digital literacy. So all the skill sharing, this is really intensive and really beautifully curated program. And after that, those girls, well, we don't make them, but we encourage them, and usually 100% of the time they're up for it. When they take all the knowledge and attitudes and skills that they acquired during this project, They go back to their communities and they design and implement their own community projects. This is how this, it doesn't end there with them. So this is how the snowball keeps rolling. And I'm telling you, it keeps rolling every day as we speak now more and more. I'll share some more project examples a little bit later. Next. So in the numbers, because everybody loves numbers. So on the left, I want to mention this is Sajana Badel. She's the second co-founder. Very bright person. She's the founding president of Nepal. And these are Tamang Hets. This is an ethnic. Very interesting to mention. Nepal is such a beautiful place for such a project because being a tiny country, it has it's home to 126 different ethnic communities and groups. So for girls from to travel from one village to another, I promise you, this is a big intercultural experience for them. They learn about another villages and communities, foods, attires, traditions. It's really, I've attended Hitaishi and it's really a profound experience. So far we had 8 cohorts of Hitaishi exchanges, half of them rural, going to urban, and vice versa. In total, 43 Hitaishi graduates. Again, you may think it's not a lot, but remember, behind each Hitaishi, there is the whole family, uncles, schools, and communities. And during Hitaishi projects, we calculated we engaged approximately 4,000 community members because we invite them, like with Hitaishis, we go to schools, we engage with local communities very actively. And approximately 1,750 direct beneficiaries of those projects that Hitaishis implements afterwards. So what are these projects? Next. I'm going to speak a little bit. One thing, so Hitaishi is being empowered by themselves and feeling stronger and more confident about themselves is already our goal, right? We don't enforce them to do anything, and we do not tell them what kind of projects we want them to do in their communities. It's up to them. Whatever they feel like their heart is calling, and also whatever the needs of their communities are, and it's all over Nepal, they do it. And every time when I hear about the projects that these girls come up with, it makes me cry. Look at those, like this is Tarai on the picture. This is on the border of Nepal and India. Actually, 3 of our Hitaishis at different times and different locations decided to organize adult literacy program for women. This is what it looks like, sitting on the ground and learning how to read and write for the first time. You know, like, what does it mean? I heard this little story, but it's still stuck in my head. Women now can know how to sign their names, right? What does that mean? They can go to a bank. They don't have to wait for their husbands. So that makes them more, gives them more autonomy and independence. Then they are able to teach their kids, right? And, educate a woman and she will break this cycle of poverty and lack of education. I think this is a very powerful image, right? And it's like, and all other projects, one woman was so inspired to organize whole campaign against child marriage, teaching leadership to other girls in their communities, started a child club, like sexual health, a lot of like sustainable tourism educational series. One girl, 3 years ago, started a sports program in her school, involving 100 kids every Friday. And this program is still running. The last one, I'm almost finishing. For example, the cohort that Nagma met, these 5 girls came from this small village. They could barely speak and say their names. And they were so inspired by a public speaking workshop. And they decided, we're going to bring this workshop to our village. And now these 5 girls started a huge project. Yeah. All right. So in their village. Okay. Okay. So quals and quants. So basically, in one word, they're saying all of them are saying that this participating in our projects, in their projects now has been a life-changing experience. Next. Do we have time to listen to this?
Yeah.
Yes, all right, let's listen. This is a testimony by Hitaishi, former Hitaishi, who is now also helping run Hitaishi.
Namaste. Namaste. I'm Pravina Kharka, an undergraduate student of psychology and social work, an alumni of Urban Hitachi, and currently I work as a project associate for the Hitachi project. In 2023, I had a life-changing opportunity to participate in the Urban Hitachi project, where I traveled with 5 other Hitachis to Great Hills of Wrocław, and we spent a month providing different kinds of workshops to the local community. Through this experience, I connected deeply with the community and discovered my passion for community service and social impact. Now, from being a beneficiary to leading this initiative, I have witnessed the transformative power of this project firsthand. It has shaped my personal and professional journey, and being part of this project continues to bring me immense joy.
Thank you. And honestly, so we couldn't have done it alone. We're a small organization. We form partnerships, and I want to invite my friend, my sister, my partner, Brinda Basnet. She is right now in Kathmandu. It's midnight there, actually past midnight. She's a board member of GET-Nepal. She's been active with GET-Nepal for 5 years now, and she's now overseeing basically all projects within the organization. Brinda, can you please tell us about partnerships?
First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank everyone, Nogma, especially because I had that opportunity to meet her and work together on Hitaishi project. And also, Lena, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And yeah, IAYSP, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. So a lot of things has been addressed by our co-founder Lena, but I would like to address on partnership that we have been we have had a strong partnership since our establishment with so many organizations that we share similar goal and vision with. But for Hitaishi project itself, this year for Rural Hitaishi 2024, we were able to partner with 7 other organizations with similar goal. And the Hitaishi project was only possible due to our strong partnership with all these organizations. But if I have to talk about 2024 year itself, then we had like around 35 partnerships, strong partnership. We have been building the partnership with different organizations, be it institutional organizations, NGOs, and other different organizations that we share our goal, and we together would like to contribute to SDG goals itself. So our partnership with this organization has been completely game changer for our organization itself, because there has been times when people look our work, they find our work through social media or through different networking events, and they find that similarity regarding the vision and goal, the objective that we share, and that's how our network gets stronger. And I don't think any project is possible without any partnership, because it's one of the fundamental element to build an entire project. And that's how we got connected with Nogma. And Hitaishi project was bigger and better this year only because of peace designer training, and it has been one of the game changer for our organization this year. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brinda. We'll hear more from her. I think we can wrap up this presentation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now, I want to turn to Patricia Gonzalez. She will be joining, she's on Zoom right now. She's a civil society activist from Mexico who will share her perspective on the importance of community-driven initiatives in advancing gender equality and development. Patricia, over to you. You have 5 minutes.
Yes, thank you. Can you hear me well?
Great.
Perfect. Thank you so much. It is an honor to be here and have the opportunity to talk about a remarkable program developed in Mexico that actually shares some of the objectives that this organization, Girls Empowered by Travel, have, which are promote leadership among women and encourage youth participation in achieving the SDGs. Which is this program is called Talento Mujeres Cívitas. In English, we can say is Talent of Citizen Women. It is a program led by two institutions, the National Electoral Institute, which is an autonomous public body, and El Colegio de México, which is a public university. So what is this program about? It is a program specifically for female students at a high school level, which seeks to develop in them self-knowledge, self-confidence, a sense of self-efficacy, civil skills, and a commitment to act for the benefit of their community. So it is a very complete program that serves as a first step in the personal development of these teenagers. It offers the opportunity to participate in conferences about gender, democracy, human rights, citizen participation, conflict resolution, among other topics. Also, they have mentoring from young university students. For example, myself, I was a tutor of a 10 group of girls. It was an amazing experience. The program also provides students with the tools and skills to develop a social project, a very small one, but it is very specific for those girls. And at the end of the program, they have a selection of students that when they have the opportunity to access an academic trip to Mexico City. So the general characteristics of this program, it lasts 3 months or 12 weeks. The last edition, it was a participation of 500, 600 students from all around Mexico. And also it was a participation of 50 tutors, if I can recall well. And it is a completely online program with conferences and tutoring sessions every week. And the only in-person part is the academic trip. So it is a very, very enriching program for both the students and the tutors. As a tutor, I must say it was a great learning experience. Being a tutor is completely voluntary. We did not receive any payment for this mentorship that we were given. It involves a great responsibility towards the students because it is not only about preparing the topics for presentations every week. It is also to provide advice on the social projects that these girls have been developing, also to solve academic and professional doubts that they have, and most importantly, trying to promote in them a reflection on the life project that they aspire to create. That is the main idea of this program. And some of the testimonies or the conclusions that some of my students gave me at the end of the program were that they were more open to new possibilities. They got inspired by other girls. They were motivated and they start to creating bonds of friendships with other girls from all around Mexico because I had students from the southeast part of Mexico until the north part. They learn about empathy, the importance of sharing knowledge, the responsibility of taking decisions, and most important, they started to give value to themselves. So that is how impactful was this program, and still it is, because in the future we'll come up with new editions of this program. So that's it for me. Then if you have some comments and questions, I will be more than delightful to answer. Thank you.
Great. Thank you to all our panelists for sharing their insights and experiences. Nagma introduced to us the IAYSP Peace Designer Program, demonstrating how youth can align initiatives with global goals. Elena then highlighted GET-Nepal's work in empowering women through travel-based leadership, fostering personal and community transformation. And then next, Brenda brought these concepts to life by sharing firsthand experiences of the Hitaishi program, showing how grassroots leadership creates lasting change. And finally, Patricia Gonzalez provided valuable perspectives from Mexico civil society, emphasizing the role of community-driven initiatives in advancing gender equality and sustainable development. Together, these stories showcase the power of leadership, travel, and grassroots action in creating a more sustainable and inclusive world. Now we want to proceed into the discussion period. I have two questions for some of these panelists, and then after we're going to open up to the floor for any questions that you may have. The first question is, how can leadership programs such as those of GET-Nepal and IAYSP be adapted and expanded to different cultures and communities to better promote gender equality and development? And I want to hear these towards Elena, Brenda, and Nagma specifically.
Sure, we can start. I believe that our project, not even a project, our technology and methodology and basically idea of using travel as an empowerment tool can really be adopted in different countries, different communities, and what else would you say? Different countries, different communities. How and cultures. We are different cultures and different communities. That's our specialty. We already work and it works. How? I would say, for example, whenever we organize even each Hitaishi cohort, we do very profound research on the needs of that community. So definitely, I think our technology and methodology can be used in other places as well. Just we will need to do very profound research of that community, and all the projects will be and should be and must be with a local twist. That's a given. Brenda, I actually would like to include Brenda a little bit more because she is actually boots on the ground. Brenda, would you like to add something on the first question?
Yes, regarding the strategies, I think the first and foremost thing would be like we going to the field itself, understanding the community itself. I think that's the major thing that we have been adopting. And until and unless you go there, until and unless you meet people, until and unless you get to know the community and the stakeholders, local government, your project cannot proceed at all. You need to have that understanding of that particular community that you are working with, and you need to build that partnership. By partnership, I also mean partnership with the community, partnership with stakeholders, partnership with family, partnership with our participants. So I think that's the major strategy that we always opt for, because without having that connection, without building that emotional connection at times as well, you can't really work. So and the thing that I always make sure that my entire team adopts would be building that connection and building that partnership with entire community. Then secondly would be testimonials, as you already have like seen the video. Our one of the team member Prabina, she was like our previous Hitaishi graduate, Hitaishi leader. Now she is also taking over this project. So she is our testimonial. This time, whenever I went to the field, I had her with me to share her experience, her journey from Hitaishi to being a project associate now and leading the project. So testimonials, one thing, it is one of the most important factor, and we always try to inculcate that in our project as well. So then third would be showing our impact. So how impact we have been creating. So impact, our previous impact, showing our evidences, our report is one of the crucial factor that come to play while we are there in the field and when we are initiating all these kind of grassroots level leadership programs. Then second, of course, last but not the least would be media would be like different platform, media, digital platform, or say social media. Now everything is so transparent. When we went to school to talk about our project and convince parents and teachers, our teachers were like constantly going through our websites, our social media. They really wanted to see if we are genuine people or genuine organization who is genuinely working for the community. So that's one of the, I think, strength. Keeping your social media game or digital media game up is one of the major strategy we always try to imply. And lastly would be like being accountable and transparent towards your work and towards the people that you're working for. So these are the strategies we always try to implement in our project, and so far we also would love to inculcate other more strategies. We are working on it, but these are the things that we do not compromise at all. Yeah, thank you.
That's great. Nugma, did you want to? Sure.
I-
2 minutes.
Sure. 1 minute?
Yeah, 1 minute works perfectly.
I think I myself am a Hiteshi, but even before Hiteshi started, indeed. But it was such a pleasure to do this partnership with GET-Nepal and Hiteshi project as well. So for me, why this project was so personal and close to me, because I think I also learned a lot of leadership skills through travel itself. I have participated in many beauty pageants, 7 in total, 3 local and 4 international. And during that participation as well, I would come across different participants from different cultures or different countries. So I could build connections. I could also empathize with what was going on, because we had to show our social projects in every pageants. So I completely, I'm a living example of how leadership can be encouraged or can grow through travel. Hence I was kind of addicted to doing pageants as well, because of the friendships and the global connections that I could make and the things that I could learn and also create an impact. So I 100% agree with travel equals to leadership and confidence. Thank you.
Amen. Yes.
Thank you so much. The second question, final question I want to pose to Teresa. She's a representative of the UN Major Group for Children and Youth. She's also on Zoom, I believe. And then this question, and so after Teresa speaks on this question, perhaps Patricia, if that's good with you, you can speak on this question as well. So the question is, what strategies have been the most effective in gaining government and institutional support for grassroots leadership initiatives, and how can we amplify the voices of young women specifically? Teresa, over to you.
Hi, thank you. Just checking, can you hear me? All good?
Perfectly.
Okay. Yes, so I'm Teresa, and I'm speaking on behalf of the Gender Youth Caucus for the Major Group of Children and Youth. First, I'm pleased to share that the Major Group of Children and Youth facilitated accreditation for more than 300 young people to participate in the upcoming CSW. And additionally, youth groups will convene in a 2-3 day long CSW Youth Forum, bringing their perspectives as a collective voice, which must have a place in a sustainable future. I wanted to take some time to highlight recommendations from young feminists and gender diverse youth prepared by the Beijing Plus 30 Youth Steering Committee. We emphasize Beijing 30 as a critical moment to elevate these priorities and the importance of centering young feminist voices from grassroots to global. So first, mandating, and I'm very biased for this one because I'm also a student in STEM. So mandating universal, inclusive, and gender transformative education is paramount. We advocate for increased educational financing and comprehensive rights-based curricula. Recognizing the intersectional impacts of climate change, we also recommend gender transformative climate action, financial resources for developing countries, and protection of indigenous and community-led initiatives and climate solutions. Travel and education are keys in finding comprehensive participatory solutions. And finally, we cannot underline more the importance of adolescence and girl-child empowerment. There is a critical need for systematic integration of young feminist leadership and meaningful engagement of young women and girls. These recommendations are not merely aspirational, they're actually essential for achieving genuine gender equality and sustainable development. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, so now we want to open it up to the floor for any questions from the audience, whether that's in person or virtually. If you are on Zoom, you can go on the chat and then just type your question. And then let's see who we can have answer it. Does anyone here right now in front of us have a question? Please.
Hi, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. First of all, I want to congratulate you for the initiative in Nepal. It's amazing, and it's very obvious that not only are you making an impact on these young girls' lives, but also you encourage them and empower them to go back to their communities and give back, and that's amazing. My question pertains to your evaluation methods for assessing the effectiveness of your curriculum, because I understand that there are a lot of challenges with developing and designing a curriculum. Like, we need to be able to make sure that it meets the global standards, but at the same time, it is tailored to the needs of the context and the population that you're talking about. So in the case of Nepal, how are you, let's say, how are you evaluating whether the curriculum that you have, it is effective? And from the very little you shared, it seems that it's very intense, which is very great. But at the same time, I understand that it can bring a lot of challenges.
The intensity?
Yes, like, for example, I'm trying to like imagine myself in their shoes, like I'm just learning how to read and write, and then there's the digital literacy added to that. So yeah, there are a lot of things. And then also like the duration and everything. I was just very curious about how you're evaluating the curriculum.
I just thank you so much, and Brenda, please get ready. I want, because she is the pioneer there. I just want to clarify something. So the digital literacy, how should I say? So there are Hitaishis, so they know how to read and write. So they're the participants. And then they're like the participant students of this program. So we're training them in leadership, project management, digital literacy. So, but then they go into their communities and they train, and so they teach, let's say, read and write women in their communities.
Okay.
So these women who don't know how to read and write, they only learn that.
Oh,
just to
wonderful.
clarify.
Oh, got it.
Otherwise, yes, it would be a little intense. Yes.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much for clarifying that.
For sure, yes. Speaking, I just heard global standards. I want to remind that we're very grassroots. And you know how they say, think globally, act locally.
Yes.
This is us acting very locally. And Brenda, I want to defer this question to you because you're the star of this work. And can you please tell us about M&E, like quants, how we, you know, because she's the one actually doing all those evaluations. And there was a 67-page report on Hitaishi.
Yes. So what happens is, regarding the design of like entire leadership bootcamp training program, what we do is like we have like around one week or 2 weeks stay in that particular community where we select the participants from. So we somehow have that sense, okay, these are the things that maybe the girls are lacking or the school is not being able to provide, but also there are so many things that comes to play, of course. Maybe budgeting things are there, resources are there, of course. So after we select the participant, we have like one-on-one conversation with them regarding, okay, what are the things that you really want to learn that's not available in your school or in your community. So we try to tap in that. There are so many things that girls usually express their feelings. Somebody wants to learn computer, somebody wants to learn something regarding sports. There are a lot of things, but we really try to curate it in a manner where we have like proper resources, where we could provide with them certain resources. So that's how we curate entire training for them. So this time we spoke to each of them, and what we finalized where they really wanted to have that mental health session. They wanted to learn about financial literacy. They wanted to learn legal literacy. So there were a lot of things, but these things can be really vast for their age. But what we tried to do was, it was something very new to them. So we tried to break it down, made a very simplified curriculum for them. So the leadership bootcamp, it lasted for 10 days. So for 10 days is not enough to provide all these kind of workshop for them. So we try to break it down and make it as simple as we could. So this is how we train them for entire 10 day. And yeah, by the end of the 10 days training, they have like a design thinking workshop where they think about one particular project, because they have been living in that particular community since they are born. So they know what are the pros, what are the cons, what is the need of their community. So we do not interfere in that. So it's entirely their project. They put their heart, their mind into it, and they designed one particular project for their community, and they run their project for like a particular 6 months, and they try to make it as sustainable as they can. And also we do help them to make it more sustainable. We guide them throughout their duration. And there are like few baseline surveys and endline surveys we do regarding our participants, and by the end of the project we do have like monitoring and evaluation.
Can I just add, mostly, as I understand, so this, are they effective or not? It's mostly based on what we originally learned about their wants, needs, expectations. Then we go back and see where they met, what KSAs like knowledge, skills, and attitudes have shifted. And mostly it's qualitative analysis, of course, And data shows, surveys show that it really has been effective in their lives. For example, I'll give you one tiny example. I spoke to one of me and Brinda, we had this conversation about with the Hitaishis and how effective this program was. Just a small, tiny sentence that shifted my perspective of how really. These girls told me from that village that they've never worked with a computer before. And I can't believe this is possible, but this is true. They've never seen, they've never worked. But these girls, like Brinda and her team, during the session, they taught them, they had a digital literacy workshop a day. And by the end of the day, these girls stayed up till 1 a.m. and they created their PowerPoint presentation. So, and then later on, one of the girls said, you know what, after this, I want to be an IT teacher, so how effective is this? If the girl is able to dream like that, and now they're going back and they're demanding computers from their work, I think it's a great start to say, right, Brinda?
Yes, they have like designed a program, Power of Words. Their project name is Power of Words, and they are working on public speaking. They are going to provide public speaking training to grade 7, 8, and 9, and 10 students in their particular school. So I was quite surprised when she made entire PowerPoint presentation. And yeah, when I spoke to her teacher, he was quite supportive, and he was like, okay, I'm all set. I'm ready to help her out, entire team out. And yeah, now they are like conducting their training.
And now the school is on board, everybody's on board. Seems pretty effective.
Wonderful.
Thanks for sharing.
Thank you, Brinda. Thank you. Patricia, I wanted to give you the floor, and if you give you the chance to speak to this question or even the last one, whichever you like.
Yes, thank you. I wanted to point it out the question about the government and how to make it involved into this projects, at least here in programs in Mexico. The thing in here is that it's kind of not problematic, but it's kind of hard to make it interest into this, because they need to really support with money to develop this project, even if it is an online program, and we make a lot of voluntary work. Government is kind of a little bit complicated to give the money into develop this. However, if we expose the actual benefits in the short term and the long term about showing to the girls what are for example, the topics about empowering them, but also to show the problematics and the actual circumstances that surround, for example, the violence in Mexico towards women, So if we actually show them that we kind of making the government get us its attention to see, okay, this is what we wanted to explain, help us to develop. And it is how it works. So at least with this program, it has worked a lot. It has started in 2019, if I'm not wrong. And the conclusions, all the results that the program has given, it's been an amazing because of the exposure that it has had in Mexico because of the students and all the projects that they have developed regarding not only violence against women, but also climate change. And they have been recognized nationally and internationally. So that is something that governments likes it. So they start invest on this. So that's the thing too with the government. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Patricia. Is there another question here in the audience that we have potentially? Okay, on Zoom, does anyone have a question they want to share on the chat? Not that I can keep asking questions.
There was a question that I saw about Hitaishi. So the project is Hitaishi, but Hitaishi also means a friend. So we do call the participants Hitaishis.
So Catherine, she's our board member of the year. She already explained. Yes.
Oh,
So
perfect.
Hitaishi is the name of the project, and the girls are Hitaishis.
Hitaishis, like a friend, a well-wisher.
Words matter. Words matter. Yes.
Yes.
I would be interested to know if there's any challenges within the community with that program, and then how do you cope with them? And most importantly, how do the girls cope with them too?
Brenda, this is a question for us. I'll start and you finish. You know, I remember, especially when we started this project 2017. And now we gained some traction. Now we have more pictures on Instagram, you know, we have on our website. But what you always have to start somewhere. And when we started this project, okay, we brought girls from the city to the rural area. It was okay. But then when we started working with a rural community, and we talk really rural, and we wanted to bring them into the city, we were called like a few times on the future occasions, we were blamed sort of to be like traffickers. You know, it's like, what is this? To say the travel isn't like to use travel as a women empowerment tool in Nepal, in some rural communities, it's a very revolutionary idea, I must say. So how we cope is by working with the community, starting with families. And I already mentioned, behind every girl, there is a father, a brother, and 12 uncles. So first and foremost, you have to work with those and explain the benefits, first for the girl and then for the family and community. And Brenda, let's just join me.
Okay.
Yes.
So talking, the first part of your question was like, what are the challenges we face while we work in the community, right?
Yes. And then
Yeah.
how do you cope with them? Or how do you work around them?
Yes, all we do is like we convince, we present them with evidences like Lena addressed. Yeah, we every time we go there, we go to a community, there are always trust issues. And yeah, it's quite understandable because this time too, we were two young women, went to Songkhla, eastern part of our country, Nepal, and it's quite rural. Yeah, of course, 18 hours of long bus ride. And initially when we try to collaborate with school itself, principal sir, he wasn't trying to like listen to us, he was really avoiding us. So it took us like 4 meetings to convince him. And then later we went to like local government, we need to have like letter and everything. So he was quite supportive, he understood our project, what we were there for, our objective was quite clear to him, and he was quite supportive. So again, we had to go back to school to explain about our project to entire staff members, entire school board members, and still they were quite comprehensive regarding our project, because two young women, they were not hopeful, okay, what these young women are here for. So they were not trying to listen to us, but yeah, I sometimes really need to raise my voice higher so that I can make them understand, convince them. And our local government official, he was there. So as soon as they saw him, the entire school started like, okay, 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 fine, okay, they are here for some reason, for something good maybe. So that's how we had to convince them. So it took around 4 meetings to convince them. And also one of the biggest challenge was to convince our Hitaisi participants themselves, because they were also quite doubtful regarding their abilities, because this kind of project was something that they had never thought of they would be part of. And also I was quite disappointed with women teachers in school, because they were not quite supportive towards us, because I was expecting them to be supportive, them to be curious regarding the project, but they were not. All the questions were coming from our male teachers, and they had a lot of questions regarding the project, how we are going to do it, what are the leadership training is for. So while female teachers were quite taken aback, and they were like trying to uh, not get involved in it at all. So the thing is, I get what Hitaisi participants must have felt, because they never had someone to look up to, and they never had that women leader or women change maker in their community. So they were quite doubtful regarding their abilities in itself. So that was one of the challenge, to make them aware, convince them that okay, you are strong enough, you have that quality. So why do you have to hesitate? Please come out of yourself. So that was the second most challenging part of our project. And convincing parents is also quite tough, because they have a lot of relatives. I mean, like, not their close family members, but other relatives, outer family members, who have always something to say, something to tell to them. Okay, okay, why are you going? Kathmandu is such a big city, you might get, like, lost. It's a quite a bad place, there are a lot of people. So it takes a lot to convince entire family and their entire close relatives, especially men in their family, like their elder brothers, their father. So yeah, and yeah, eventually they'll get convinced, because our work speaks. And we only work and we prove them with our work. And as soon as, like, our leadership um, boot camp ended, they were all like, good.
Thank you so much. So we have one person on Zoom that would like to make a short comment. They have a few, I believe this is how you pronounce your name. Feel free to come on. You have 30 seconds to make your comment. If you,
Oh, yeah. Hi.
hi.
So I wanted to ask to the people who are working on this project. So, like she already mentioned about the challenges that she faced working on it, but like me being myself Nepalese, I know the people out there, like, they are more like people who are in rural area. They are more illiterate, and it's really hard to convince them. So, what are the ways they come up with to tackle that problems?
What are the challenges to confront literacy?
If she could tell us one incident that took place and how she like come up with the solution, that would be great. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
Did you hear me?
Okay, I think I should take that question.
Please.
One incident that happened was, one parent of our participant, father, especially father. So he was there, and as soon as I always try to make sure that, okay, whenever I select one particular participant, or before selecting any participant, I visit their home. So I go there, I build a connection with them, I eat food with them, I take their daughter along with her to their parents, and I go there, I talk to them. Okay, that, I mean, I think Nepalese people, one of the important factor is always making them feel comfortable. not making them feel like, okay, you might not know anything. So I always try to put them at ease. So when I told that, okay, your daughter has been selected for a program and she has to go to Kathmandu for 10 days leadership boot camp, and after that she'll be doing entire project with her team. So he was quite okay, I'm happy, but I'm quite worried about my daughter. So they had like entire series of questions, you know. So and what I told him was, okay, if you are comfortable, I'll come with your daughter to your home. We'll sit there, we'll talk to them. So I went to their home and I sat there. They offered me food. We had food together, and it was not like, okay, interviewing her parent. You know, it was like just a normal conversation, making them feel at ease, and making myself, they made me feel comfortable too. So we sat down, we talk about our community, we talk about our school. So that's how I built that emotional connection with them. You know, they treated me like their own daughter. And later on, so it was around like 45 minutes conversation, and he was convinced, he was convinced that, okay, her daughter is his daughter is at a very safe place. And I think I should allow my daughter to go Kathmandu to learn something, because this is for herself. So I always try to build that connection, because there's nothing like more technical when you work on field, when you work with people. You all need to build that emotional connection. By emotional, I don't only mean for only project, but it should be like everlasting connection. Once project is done, it's not like I don't keep in touch with them. Also every Friday I call each parent, you know, I call them, I always speak to them, you know. So this is how I build connection, and I always try to solve the problem that way. And also focal person will always be there. So if anything happens, then focal person is there. If anything goes wrong, or say if I have to convince but I'm not available, then focal person will always be there. But yeah, regarding like challenging field, I'm always there to talk to them.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And now it's up to, Pastor Chabal, did you have a question?
No, if
A statement?
I was just going to make a brief
Okay, yeah, please.
comment. Really, that's a note of great inspiration. And how did I get here? First, start by complimenting Nagma about the privilege and a pleasure of meeting with her. And when we first met, and I was at the United Nations, and I asked her what she was doing, and of course, first she had been introduced as, of course, someone who has made tremendous achievements, and at the international level, and of course, as having served as Miss Universe, and I don't take achievements lightly, and especially on the part of women and girls.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I happen to be involved in the, I have a nonprofit. It's called Visionary Empowerment. And Vision Empowerment, it is in fact a spiritual calling, a vocation. And that's how the name came about. And I won't bother you with the history, but it's a very personal faith story. I served for more than 30 years as a career for service officer for Zambia. And a year prior to my formal retirement, I've been meditating for many years. This is spiritual practice. And my mantra was, Lord, as prepare to move on my spiritual journey, let it be not what I want to do, but what you want me to do. And that was my mantra as I meditated I do it still twice daily at least. For 14 months. And during that period, I was involved with running an international trust for the education of Zambian orphans. A female friend from a high school friend that asked me, she started the NGO and she asked me to help run it. And we were helping HIV/AIDS orphans, girls predominantly, place them into secondary school, as far as Zambia, from grades 8 through 12. And it was a very, for me, extremely transformative. And we managed to place hundreds of them into, career and including university. So it's during that time that I received my calling. I was trying to avoid it, but I'm spirit inspired to share it. One day as I slept, I woke up at 4 in the morning. Just like that. And I opened the Bible by my bedside. And the finger touched the verse. I read the verse, paraphrase, stop doing wrong, learn to do right, seek justice, encourage the oppressed, plead the cause of the orphan, defend the widow. It's exactly what I was doing at that time. And so I knew that was my calling, my spiritual calling. So it's a calling I hold very dearly. Engagement, and it's all around the role of women, empowerment of women and girls. I'm a trained economist by professionally and financial, etc. And I know that without empowering the women and the girls, one, at a highly spiritual level, we are falling short of who we are and what our purpose here on earth is. And coming to the SDGs, there's no way we can fulfill or implement the goals without gender parity and women's empowerment. So I hold it very, very seriously. So that day when I received my calling, and incidentally, I might as well finish it. As I opened the Bible and I read that text, I just wasn't aware where this is. So I asked myself, where is this from, the text? And I checked it. It was from the book of the prophet Isaiah. My first name is Isaiah, named after that spirit. And so deeply spiritual. But for me, over the past 20 or so years, I've been engaged. That, by the way, I registered my first nonprofit, Visionary Empowerment. I didn't Google it. And then it was the power of the spirit. So we are involved, we've been involved in Zambia, we registered in Zambia, and subsequently I came over here to the United States, it's registered. And we provide a lot of things, skills training, and that was something, to the rural and most marginalized community. So
great.
Coming to this, I'm extremely inspired. First, the leadership training that's provided, and of course with Nagma involved, the statement that you made, so you are an embodiment of the qualities, right, the traits and the values that are essential to the mission.
Thank you. Yeah, let's talk
Yeah.
after.
So I would very much like to us to talk and
Very much.
to get a partnership going with Visionary Empowerment. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now over for closing remarks, I want to invite Olga Medikova as she is our Secretary General.
Actually, before the closing remarks, I just want to ask the audience, maybe two comments. Sorry, I know it's off the script. It's cold and we need to move a little bit, good on our brains. Maybe two people can share, like, what's the, one thing that you are taking away for yourself today? One thing, the most inspiring, what touched your, heart today? One thing, and I would like two people to share.
Hope.
Awesome.
Hope.
Thank you. I love that. Short and sweet. Anything else? Anybody else?
Does it have to be one word?
No.
I'm taking away the importance of building rapport, as Brenda shared, that she really took the time to engage with the families and build rapport to encourage them to participate.
Yeah. Sure. So important, right? The personal touch. Thank you for that. Anybody else?
I think it's interesting that kind of the impact goes beyond the individual, right? So beyond the girl that received the experience and the training, I think it's interesting to see kind of the ripple effect, just how her relationship with her family, with the community. And I think that's also interesting just to see that, how that alone tracks to other people in that community.
Exactly. And you don't know, you cannot even quantify it eventually, because one person can affect the whole world.
Yeah.
One last one?
Consistency. Because if you guys are not consistent, I heard the lady said that she had to have 4 meetings to just get something done. I know what it feels like when somebody turns you away. So that consistency, none of this is happening. We won't be here, we won't be having the reports. And I hope that those who were inspired at that local level, it's because you guys took a chance on them. We lack that these days. I remember me coming up, few people in my life took chance on me. So consistency is one thing that I think I'm gonna take away from here.
Thank you. Yeah. Consistent investment, right? Having hope and persistence for sure. Thank you. So that's it. My conclusions are done pretty much, right? This is the main purpose, but we can go high level, we can use the UN language, make all these conclusions, how partnerships are important, how civil society is important, how engaging, getting the resources from government to scale our initiatives is very important, how it's important for us to get participation. It's all great, right? It's all amazing. But what is driving us, right? Why are we doing this, Because we believe in the power of one individual, in dignity, in the something that drives us to change the world around us for the better. And this is common humanity in us. And we in the IAYSP and of course in the Peace Designer program always say peace starts with me, And we don't go to the peace on a high level before we at least achieve the basic level of peace in us. And even if you look at the HITAYSP program, what they do the personal interconnection, they recognize this, inherent dignity in each one of us, importance of one individual for the whole world. So this is what I wanted to take away from that, most importantly. The power of one individual to change the world, and opportunities will come. Even how this partnership came about, it was like one conversation, and I knew Lena for years, and it just all spiraled within a month. It's all partnership with MGCY, some meetings in the hallways, thank you so much, MGCY, and for being here for him, and everybody else, Janisa, whom we met before, and he's here right now participating in his events. So it's all magic, and let's continue acknowledging that higher power in us and move forward. And not see governments and other organizations as a threat, but as a partner. They're the same people working with us, the people who want to be empowered and make a contribution. So I want to live with that. And also, IAYSP one and see more tell about the follow-up, so what can you after this event? Yes.
So yeah, this basically concludes our side event. So you can, please help yourself to refreshments in the back. We do have photos that were taken from the project, collaborated with GET over there in the back as well. So please feel free to take a look at that. And yeah, finally, something that we want to ask of you guys while you're here, maybe, connecting with each other, talking about the event, getting some refreshments, is that we do have a board in the back over there. We kind of wanted a more interactive element aside from just speaking with everybody. So we have Post-it notes and some markers there. And basically would love to have people share their opinion about why partnership matters. Because we believe all your voices matter. And of course, people in the Zoom can also, if they please feel free in the chat also to share why they think partnership matters. And after you write it, it could be short, it could be long, however you feel. We have plenty of Post-it notes and plenty of markers. If you could just stick it on to the portion of the board that says your voice matters, we would greatly appreciate that. So that concludes our side event. And thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you. Yeah, just a side thing. We did actually make a YSP anthem. It's a bop. Please take a listen. It was in collaboration with a chapter in Zambia, our chapter in Zambia. So, it's basically kind of represents what we stand for, what we want to do with youth. It's called In Unity We Rise. So on all music streaming platforms. Thank you guys for coming.